So, you're standing in your kitchen at 6 a.m., meal-prepped containers stacked in the fridge, a calendar on the wall with every workout logged. You've been consistent for 6 weeks. You step on the scale and it hasn't moved. Not a pound. Maybe it's gone up. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a thought creeps in that you'd never say out loud. Maybe this is just what happens now. Maybe this is just 40. Stay with me, because that thought is not the truth. That thought is a symptom of 3 myths so deeply embedded in fitness culture that most people never question them. And here's what's dangerous about a myth. It doesn't feel like one. It feels like logic. It feels like effort. It feels like you're doing everything right while quietly stealing your results year after year. Let me ask you something. What if the plan itself is the problem? Not your consistency, not your willpower. The actual framework you're running, the one you probably inherited from advice built for a 22-year-old body. Somewhere in your mid-30s, maybe early 40s, your body quietly renegotiated the contract. Hormones shifted. Recovery changed. The rules that used to work stopped working, and nobody sent a memo. So you kept doing what you'd always done. More cardio, less food, push harder. And the results that used to show up just didn't. That's not weakness. That's biology colliding with bad information. The first myth is the one that sounds the most responsible. Eat less, move more. It's been repeated so many times it feels like physics. And it's not wrong exactly. It's dangerously incomplete after 40. And incomplete advice applied with full commitment is how people burn out without burning fat. Think about it. When you chronically undereat, especially on high output days, you're not just creating a calorie deficit. You're signaling to a body that's already navigating hormonal change that resources are scarce. A body that believes resources are scarce does one very specific thing. It protects its fat stores and breaks down muscle instead. I didn't fully understand this at first. I thought a deficit was a deficit. But muscle is metabolically expensive and fat is stored energy. So when you restrict hard and push cardio heavy, your body makes a very rational, very frustrating decision. It burns what costs the most to keep. This is the part that rarely gets said out loud. You can be in a deficit and still be working against yourself. The question was never just how much you eat. It was whether what you eat is telling your body it's safe to change. Do you see the shift? It's not about eating less. It's about eating in a way that your biology actually trusts. Now here's where it gets more uncomfortable. The second myth feels like dedication. It's the idea that more cardio equals more fat loss, and that the solution to a plateau is always another session, another class, another 30 minutes on the machine. Let's get real. Chronic cardio isn't doing what you think it's doing after 40. Sustained cardio in a calorie deficit chronically elevates cortisol. And elevated cortisol in a hormonally shifting body doesn't just slow fat loss. It actively promotes fat storage, particularly around the midsection, which is probably the exact place you're trying to address. You are working hard. That part is real. But effort and effective effort are not the same thing. And confusing the two is costing you results and recovery in equal measure. This is where the story changes for a lot of people. There's a version of you that has been exhausted and frustrated and decided that exhaustion was just the price of the goal. That version of you deserves a better framework, not more punishment. Less chronic cardio, more resistance training, more recovery treated as strategy rather than laziness. That's not the comfortable answer. It's the right one. The third myth might be the most seductive because it comes wrapped in a word everyone likes. Clean. Eat clean, they said. Just eat clean and the rest takes care of itself. The problem is, Clean eating has no real definition. It means something different to everyone, which makes it impossible to assess and impossible to fix when it stops working. Most people eating clean have no clear picture of their protein intake. After 40, protein is the variable that matters more than almost anything else, and most people are getting far less of it than they think. Your body's ability to synthesize muscle from protein declines with age. That process is called anabolic resistance, and it means you need more protein than you did 10 years ago just to maintain what you have, let alone change your composition. Without enough protein, your metabolism slows and your body composition shifts in the wrong direction. No amount of clean eating solves a protein gap you don't know you have. You can eat organic, whole food, nothing processed, and still be undernourishing the exact system responsible for keeping your metabolism functional. I got this wrong for a while. Most people do. Here's what I want you to sit with. The reason these myths are so dangerous isn't that they're lies. It's that they're partial truths applied to a body that has changed by someone who hasn't updated the information yet. The frustrating plateau, the exhaustion that doesn't resolve, the scale that won't move despite everything you're doing. That's not failure, that's a signal. Your body is telling you the old operating system needs an update. You're not past the window. You're not too far gone. You've been working with incomplete information, and information is the one thing that's actually fixable. The people who change their bodies after 40 aren't the ones who try harder. They're the ones who stop taking fitness advice designed for a version of themselves that no longer exists. They get curious instead of convinced. They question the framework before they question themselves. That's the shift. And once you make it, you don't go back.